He was able to put the Eagles back.
Yeah.
Did this performance to you, Kyle? Are you now fine with saying him being in the top 5 quarterback conversation? Being top 5
I mean, he did my exact scenario I proposed against an elite team, against someone everyone thinks is a contender. So I got to shut my ass up when it comes to Jalen Hurts.
This is going to sound like so much hate, and I swear it's not.
Welcome to the Warner Brothas Podcast. My name is Keenan, joined by my brother Kyle, joined by Timmy on a day that I lost money today, guys. This is the first week I lost true money thanks to the Packers. Appreciate you guys. Love it. But otherwise, there was probably going to lose on some other aspects regardless. How you guys doing on Football Sunday, Week 3?
It's a pretty crazy Sunday. I was not expecting this Sunday to happen quite the way it is. Kyle? I'm pretty sure the three of us went like 500 this week, so you can definitely make up some ground on us.
We'll see. It seems I haven't looked at the picks, but I'm sure I went 500 as well. So, I mean, it will probably not pan out too well for me, but hopefully.
Man, it's a fun week, and basically I've written a statement and or question about every team that played on Sunday so far. We are recording this before Chiefs and Giants. So I'm going to ask a question about every team or give a statement on team and just have you guys react to it. I'm going to go from there. We'll start with the Rams and the Eagles because that was the marquee game of the 1:00 window. And
say marquee game of the day, honestly.
Marquee game of the day. Yeah, there's Chargers Broncos too, so I wanted to give highlight shine to that too because two good teams as well. But you're right. We're gonna start on the Rams side, and it's the statement. This question is: are the Rams the biggest threat to the Eagles in the NFC?
They're one of them. I don't know if they're necessarily the biggest threat.
Mm-hmm.
I still think the Packers are a big threat in the NFC. Rams and then maybe the Bucks are there. So they're definitely one of the three biggest threats for sure, without a doubt, to them.
Kyle, your thoughts?
Yeah, I'd throw a healthy Niners squad in there as well. Stylistically, though, the Rams seem to give the Eagles problems. Like, they match up physically with them. And we're in position to win the game today had it not been for the block. So I wouldn't say the biggest. I'd probably edge Packers as of right now, even after today. And then the Niners. Niners get Ayuk back. The way they're playing with Mack Jones, why not them, right? They've got the pedigree. Mack Jones. So, yeah, I don't hate the Niners. It'd be for me, Niners, Packers. Shit. Who the fuck we
maybe
just
the
say?
Lions, possibly.
Lions
and
are throwing there too,
Rams.
possibly. Rams, yeah,
Lions,
Rams.
Bucks.
Those would be the four, and then of course the Bucks. Bucks 3-0 and are as good as anybody. So,
if you had to have me choose a team, I actually think I would choose the Rams a touch over the Packers, and it's just because I think the Packers have like the same kind of high end. Obviously, Micah Parsons is the best player, but the Rams do have a lot of high end talent defensively. They can get after you truly with 4, and then you lean Matt Stafford in those big moments. I think like today, not that it's only indicative of everything, but Jordan Love has only been in 2-3 playoff games so far. Matt Stafford's obviously a Super Bowl champion, been in many situations against that Eagles team and again in other situations. I think that I would lean the Rams if you said who had to be the biggest threat, but I agree with you guys. Bucks are there, Packers are there, Lions are there, and the Eagles team, though they got the win today, they impressed, but also you saw some concerns there as well on both sides. And the part we impressed, Kyle, obviously, on this podcast, we've talked about Jalen Hurts a lot. And Kyle's posed the question multiple times over the last 3 or 4 weeks when we're talking quarterback tiers or whatnot. Jalen Hurts down 17. Is he able to get you out of those situations? Well, he was down, I believe, 25-7. So he was down the 17-18. He was able to get back, drive there, maybe a PI, whatever there, but he was able to put the Eagles back.
Yeah.
Did this performance to you, Kyle, Are you now fine with saying him being in the top 5 quarterback conversation? Being top 5.
I mean, he did my exact scenario I proposed against an elite team, against someone everyone thinks is a contender. So I got to shut my ass up when it comes to Jalen Hurts. It would still be like I was actually looking at like where you had him last year in your rankings. And to be fair to you, you've been pretty consistent. Like believe he started 11 for you in the offseason last year. And then it seemed like he stayed in like the 9, 10, 8 range throughout the year. I think you had him 9 going into the playoffs as well. So he jumps into 5 for you for winning the Super Bowl. He is so tough to evaluate, man. Like I was telling Tim last night, I had forgotten in the Rams postseason game, he took 7 sacks. He didn't even get to 130 yards and was like 13 for 28. You know, yeah, they got the dub, and then today he's throwing the ball in the comeback. He's actually using AJ Brown. He's forcing the ball down the field. I do think it's a very specific route tree he needs for him to be successful compared to other QBs. And that's not me moving goalposts there. But I think you can make a compelling argument for him either way when it comes to that 5 spot in particular. As polarizing of a quarterback I can remember as far as like, is he elite? Is he not? Like as far as just ranking him, especially next to the top 4. Very interesting.
Timmy, you?
I agree. I mean, you can definitely just put him 5, and it's, the argument is to be made either way. So I still feel a little bit more comfortable right now with Baker over Jalen Hurts, as I said in the group chat earlier today. But don't fault anybody for having Jalen Hurts above him. Yeah, with Hurts, man, the second half, really, really good. We saw pretty much everything we wanted to see. Just want to see it in the first half too. Let's get AJ Brown involved in the first half. There's no reason he shouldn't have 0 for 0 going into the second half. So let's do that the whole game. Maybe you win this game 35-27, and then we're not even having this argument in the first place.
Yeah. So the thing with me with Jalen Hurts and why I had him going into the year in that 5 spot and why he continues to stay there in that 5 spot, if you want to say 4 now because Burrow's out for the season, whatever. But it's because in these big spots, typically he has delivered when he is needed to. Obviously, there has been games where he hasn't. Obviously, Kyle, you did point out Rams game, he didn't play great in that Rams game, but they were up for the majority of every bit of the game, and they obviously did win. So you could point to spots here and there where he hasn't performed, but Super Bowl stage, he has been at his best. When you've needed drives, when you've needed plays from Jalen Hurts, he has been at his best, and he continues to show that today. So I think I have him in that spot because of it, and I understand that, like, I don't think that I'm blaming him for a scheme choice of the coordinator and the coach.
Yeah.
Like if he's executing what they're asking him to do at an elite level, then that's all you can really ask for. And then in the second half, they said, hey, we need you to go get us touchdowns. And what did he do? He went and got him touchdowns after touchdown and like multiple.
For sure.
Of them. So like
For
I
sure.
can't I have to have him there personally for me. I just don't think there's really anything you can say.
I kind of look at it like this. Like I know we're on a limited time schedule here, but like I kind of look at it like
it's the game we want to talk about.
I look at it like, and actually T-Mac has said this, and I've said this to you, Keenan, in the past. Like, if you put anybody on the 2000 Lakers, like before they won a ring, the very first season they won a ring, if you replace Kobe with like Vince Carter, T-Mac, Allen Iverson, I still think they win that ring. That's how I feel about Hurts. If you replace him with like Herbert, Baker Mayfield, I think there's probably 8 quarterbacks that you could fit into that system. I mean, I'm just going freestyle here, but I mean, there's multiple quarterbacks you could put in that system. And, you know, if we look at last year's playoffs, including the Super Bowl, you say when the lights are brightest. I agree with you on that first Chiefs Super Bowl. Second Chiefs Super Bowl, man, they're playing from the 50-yard line, which, again, it's benefit of his team, you know. So I'm not necessarily calling him a system quarterback. I don't mean it like that, but he's just got so much talent around him. He's not asked to do as much as a Baker, as a Justin Herbert, as, you know, other guys. That's not to take anything away from him. I think the dude's a baller. Don't get me wrong. But when it comes to QB to QB, I do think there's other guys who can do it better than him. And of course, you can factor in his running ability, but just strictly throwing the ball, dissecting defenses, there's other guys I would take before him. And again, other guys I think that would be successful in Philly's system in their offense.
This reminds me a lot of the Lamar conversation we had 3 years ago. And so, I credit to Lamar, he developed out of it. So I'm not trying to make him sound like him right now comparison, but like the conversation we were having about Lamar a few years back was he can play from a lead. Is he actually a really good passer, or is he just a guy who's a product of the fact that he is such a good runner that like defenses have to play that so that he gets defenses open, which is why he's such a great football player, but he might not be a great quarterback. And then I think he just naturally played his way into being like, oh no, that's just one of the 3 best guys in the league doing it every game. So I think that Hurts is beginning to develop into that a little bit more. Obviously, Lamar had the MVP season. Hurts did come second in MVP. He might have won it, to be quite honest with you, if he didn't get injured for those couple games. So that's kind of just what this reminds me of a little bit. But I do think I have Jalen Hurts there. I mean, I had him there preseason, and I don't think this really changed my mind. It's kind of just reinforced what I was thinking.
Yeah. No, I think Lamar was there. We're talking second, third year Lamar, right? Like way back.
Yeah, we're talking like right after MVP, and then like they lost in the playoffs, and then right after that, I think 2 years ago is really when he made that switch to being like, oh, as a year before they got Derrick Henry, it was really when people had
I could say even before that, mindset. I thought Lamar had like visibly improved in the pocket. Like that would be the difference to me between early Lamar and Jalen. Like they still let Lamar do a lot. I can remember, I think it was Mack's rookie year in particular, where Lamar just carved us up like everywhere, every part of the field. That is like where it's different with Jalen for me. I don't think he carves you up necessarily. I think he does very specific sort of like deep in routes, go routes, comebacks. I think he sticks to that, which is fine. Again, you can't take anything away from him. He's a Super Bowl champion. It's just, I don't know. They just seem to limit him a lot. That's all. But we should move on to the next game because
that's perfectly fine. No, that's perfectly fine. I just think this is the interesting one that we have because we both have a couple varying opinions on him. You and Timmy are more aligned than me, but I think it's interesting. Next, we'll go to a team that you guys have a little bit more faith in this year than I did. The Steelers beat the Patriots 21-14. Do you guys feel better about the Steelers after this win, or do you guys feel worse or about the same as you felt?
Feel a little bit better. I mean, any week that a defense forces 4 fumbles, I'll take it, especially when the defense did not look very good the first 2 weeks. So it's good to see some turnovers, good to see only 14 points allowed. Turnovers on the goal line, too, that's like a big thing. Being able to stop them from scoring and getting a turnover is even better. So I feel a little bit better. New England's not the greatest opponent offensively to have that game against and really feel comfortable after it, but I definitely feel a little bit better than I have the last 2 weeks about the Steelers. So I thought it was a solid game.
Okay.
I kind of feel a way about the Steelers the way I do about the Cardinals. I can't say they're neither good or bad. They're just kind of a team right now that has ability. I do think maybe come week 8, week 10, that the Steelers will be a better team. Cardinals after losing James Conner, and I'm sure we'll talk about them anyway, but we'll see with them now that he's going to be out. But the Steelers, I mean, they tried to lose that game several times over today, and the Patriots absolutely did not want to win the game either. They just kept saying, here, no, you take the win back and forth. I mean, the Patriots are an unbelievably dumb team, and they're unbelievably far away right now. I didn't have high expectations for them early. I thought they're going to be better like week 8 on, but even right now, they're still like a little further away than I thought. Drake May's still making rookie mistakes. They can't take care of the ball. Clock management, you name it. They're just not good. And, they don't have a ton of offensive talent either. Let's not get it twisted there, but they're far away. They're far away.
They have enough to where they don't have enough to overcome 5 turnovers. They're not the Lions a few years back, I think last year when Goff threw 5 picks and they won the game. But they're not that. They have we got down to the 1, got down to the 4 right before the half and right after the half. I don't feel better about the Steelers in this game because I watched Tua and Geno carve up this defense, and that didn't feel like the Steelers were doing much with it. Rodgers went through for 139. So I think that the Patriots handed them the game, and shout out to the for the Steelers for making these plays at the goal line. But like, we can't obviously be booking a team that wants to be a Super Bowl champion this year can't be booking for 1 yard punch outs and red zone interceptions from the elite quarterback. So I don't feel better about it, but again, in any sense, they did get a win, and that's all you can be happy about. Because if the Ravens do lose this week, they could be number 1 in the division. So we'll move on to the next game there. Speaking of the division, the Browns get their first win of the season against the Packers.
Stunner.
In an absolute stone cold Steve Austin stunner. Does this loss mean anything to you guys for the Packers, or is it just a game that just kind of comes and goes? One of the ones on the schedule for the season.
I feel like most good teams will have an ugly loss on their calendar. This is it, I think, for the Packers. When me and Kyle did the pod before the weekend, we were kind of both on the train that we thought this was kind of a trap game. Yeah, I picked it way lower scoring. When there's 4 minutes left in the game and the Packers are up 10-0, I kind of figured, all right, whatever. And then I checked back on it, and they've lost 13-10, and that's pretty crazy. So, they'll be fine. It's week 3. The year that the 49ers went and lost to the Chiefs just recently, they lost to the Browns early in the season too. An ugly game with Dorian Thompson-Robinson at the QB position. So I'm not too worried about it. It happens. And like even last year, the Ravens lost to the Raiders really early on in the season.
Yeah, week 2, right after they lost to the Chiefs.
Yeah, and this was a defensive bout. It was a rainy game. It was kind of gross. So it's going to happen. There's going to be worse losses this year. Not for the Packers necessarily, but for other good teams. So
yeah, that was the definition of the witching hour. Like that's a witching hour. Like when they're talking about the witching hour, that's the type of game they're talking about. Like Tim said, 10-0 with 4 minutes to go, and then they win 13-10. It's just the Browns. Like they have enough talent to do that. So I think they'll do that to a few teams, especially at home. I am surprised that the Packers couldn't really take control of the game, like how much the Browns like bottled them up. That did surprise me for sure. They should have won this game. Let's be honest. They should have won this game. But again, early season. If this was like week 13, I'd be a little more concerned, but week 3, this is essentially preseason for everybody. So
I'm not worried in the sense of the loss and what it means for like the Packers' future. Like I still think they're my favorites for the division. I think they're going to be very alive for a 1 seed. This could be one of those games where you look back and you're like, they missed the 1 seed by 1 game. You think to that week 3 game, kind of like the Bengals last year, that week 1 game we think back to for New England for them missing. But the one thing that it does give me a little concern for is that the Packers kind of go as Jordan Love goes, and Jordan Love has always been kind of this really high highs, really low lows kind of quarterback. Doesn't have many mediocre games, even though this was one of the more mediocre-ish. He was fine, then he threw the bad interception late, or not bad, but he threw the interception late. But like, it's one of those, with him, I'm just the little trepidation I'll use, like for high highs, low lows, and can he get like consistency, or maybe when he doesn't fully have it, it doesn't spiral. That's really the only question I have for this Packers team right now. Otherwise, I think they're fine. Next game we'll go Colts Titans, and this question will be our statement around the Colts. Colts are a top 4 team in the AFC. You guys go, yes or no, or how you feel?
4 is still it's still too early for me to really be on the top 4 bandwagon here. You had said top 7, 8. Yeah, like they're definitely a good playoff team. I don't know if we're going to pick them to win a playoff game. And if that's the case, I can't say that they're top 4. But I love what I saw of the defense. We get a pick 6 early. We had other turnovers. They were stopping them pretty good. And then, they kind of just ran away with the game on offense. The offense keeps turning. So Shane Steichen coaching for his job is a pretty damn good coach, I guess.
Yep. Kyle, your thoughts?
Literally speaking, they might be a top 4 team, since they're 3-0. Right now, it'd be tough to put them ahead of some of the elites, ahead of some of the teams we're more familiar with. But, hey, man, you start 3-0. Daniel Jones looks good. they in general look crisp, right? They look well coached, which again, that's what posed my question. Are they too good to even be bad, right? With Daniel Jones. Hey, if they got like a 6-2 record going into week 8 and they're playing a good team, like I fully expect them to compete. They're going to put the fear of God in some teams if Daniel Jones keeps looking like this. I mean, that's a divisional opponent where I thought that would be a little come back down to earth. Like Titans will be tough, but I mean, hey, when you got an idiot as your coach, I'm being nice here. I mean, you line up a kicker from 64, he misses, fine. Good that you have confidence in him from 64. But then you've got time left. At this point, a decently close game, I think within 10 points. I don't remember the exact score, but you line up from 62 with about 40 seconds left and you miss. So you're obviously they're already basically in field goal range if you're the Colts. All they got to do is complete one pass, essentially. And that's exactly what happened. You gave the Colts 3 points. That guy's not going to have a job next year. So shouts to them. I mean, that's exactly good coaching versus bad coaching. You take advantage of bad coaching and you're going to get wins, especially early on in the season. So
I actually don't think that's even a bad situation to want to go to. I think Cam Ward I can't really tell. That's kind of a mulligan year for him. For me,
he looks good, but his bum ass.
He looks fine. Yeah, and then I actually don't think like there's some teams you're already drawing dead with. I don't think that's with this team. I think you actually can go in there and maybe turn it around. For me, no, but you could honestly almost say 5. And here's the reason why. You go AFC East, the Bills, they're better than everybody else in the AFC East right now. AFC North, the Ravens, and that's presently constructed, they're better than everybody in the AFC North. And then the AFC West, you have the Chargers, and then you get the Chargers are better, and then it's the Chiefs and the Broncos. That's kind of how you feel about them.
So I put the Colts ahead of both of them right now, now.
So, and that's the case, Kyle, you have them at 4 because you probably have them the best in their own division, which is kind of crazy to think.
Yeah, you know what? If we talk it out, so like that, if we're saying the Chargers, Bills, and Ravens for sure, and then
and then after that it'd be the Chiefs. And this is pre the Giants game too, but
yeah, I don't like anybody else in the AFC South. So maybe you know what? Maybe, and then maybe 4A, 4B with the Broncos. But
yeah, I mean they literally came down to a field goal at the end at the gun in their game that they played with too. And we'll get a
put them at 4 for me. Put them at 4. Yeah. After that,
and next week will be a real nice test because they play the Rams. So like if they can really compete with the Rams, like if they get blown out by the Rams, maybe it's like the talent they've been playing is a little worse. Like obviously they played the Dolphins, they played the Titans, and then maybe the Broncos. They're kind of even there. But if they actually compete with the Rams and maybe give them a game or something like that, we'll see. All right, I thought it was an interesting thing because when you run through it, it's like, oh, this team actually might be around there.
In LA,
I underrated Daniel Jones because that was really where my basis of record went by. But I underrated Daniel Jones. Shout out to Daniel Jones. He's playing very well.
Is that game in LA next week? I'm assuming.
Give me 2 seconds.
They're coming up 2 road games.
Yeah, the Indianapolis started 2 at home, so they'd be at Array.
Yes.
Intriguing.
So we can talk about this game real quick. Bengals, Vikings, that was a 48-10 massacre. Vikings are a playoff team regardless of quarterback.
No, because I don't think the Vikings are a playoff team with J.J. McCarthy. And if he comes back, they're probably going to put him right in. This is, I think there's a lot more to this than just the Vikings looking good today. Like, quite a few of at least one of their picks today was, like, kind of fluky. Like, it bounced and it tipped the way, that just doesn't happen all the time. So it was still a great game. Defensively, they were crazy. 2 touchdowns is nuts. We hit the over, and it's all because of them. Actually, I don't know if they did hit the over. No, it was 40. So
yeah, yep. No, they hit it. They hit the over. They hit the over. Don't worry.
Damn good game. Both sides of the ball looked pretty solid. So I honestly think if JJ is out, say he's out for a month, and Carson Wentz looks good for a month, I don't know if they go back to him. I really don't. I think they kind of roll like they did last year.
Okay.
Tim, I have news for you, Tim. McCarthy's out till week 7.
Perfect.
So
Perfect. We just need a month of good Carson Wentz, and he won't play again.
So they play Pittsburgh before you go, Kyle. They play Pittsburgh next week. Then they play Cleveland after that. They can easily win those 2 games. And then we'll get We'll get Philly, Chargers, Detroit, Baltimore.
oh my God.
Yeah,
God,
we'll know all we need to know about Carson Wentz because they go Philly.
That was one of Brandon's
Chargers,
playoff teams too, right?
Philly, Chargers, Detroit, Baltimore.
So you're
Then
saying if
then
he does
Bears,
come back,
then Green Bay.
week 7, what is their matchup exactly? Week 7 is that Baltimore or Detroit?
4, 5, 6. It's the Chargers on Thursday night.
So he goes. That's a gauntlet immediately back, and we've seen one.
So he's gonna.
From them.
They probably won't put him in on a short week. They'll probably have him out until November 2nd, which
short
would be,
week. He'll be on 2 months.
I mean, he won't be, but the team. He won't be, but the team will be. I could see them giving like 10 days of game prep, and then having him come back against division opponent Lions on the road. That's good. And you have to rattle off Lions, Ravens, Bears, Packers. Okay, gotta go on.
I agree with Tim. I mentioned Friday. Like when I picked this game, I picked it in a blowout just because I think if you go backup for backup, I think the Vikings have a better roster. And then, I wasn't sure if Browning could do it back-to-back weeks, but I kind of jokingly was like, all right, let's get a blowout here. Let's get a little mini quarterback controversy in Minnesota. And we got a bigger blowout than I picked. And Wentz looked good. And that's the thing, like veteran quarterbacks, we've seen it over and over with Kevin O'Connell, right? And especially last year with Darnold. So now you got Wentz, who's like Darnold, has real talent and was at one point an MVP candidate. And he's got weapons around him. Like, he didn't have to do much to look better than J.J. McCarthy, and he looked a whole lot better. So if they're even in these games, like against this gauntlet you speak of, if they're in these games and maybe they can eke out 2 or 3 more, it's going to be very hard to convince fans and your players in your locker room that J.J. McCarthy's a better option. And who knows, maybe 2 years down the road, McCarthy looks every bit of whatever he was supposed to be, but he looks like one of the worst quarterbacks in the league right now when he's on the field. Week 1 win aside, he just does not have a handle on the offense.
I don't think they're a playoff team regardless of quarterback. I do think that they can compete for the playoffs regardless of quarterback. It just because I think the team is so good without it. I think their quarterback will make or break those 1-score games. So I think that's where the quarterback really comes into it, but their team's good enough. All right, Jets, Bucks. Baker Mayfield's the most clutch quarterback in the league outside of Mahomes and Allen.
It's got to be right up there. I mean, this is now 2 weeks in a row. 3 weeks, technically, because, we can definitely call that first week a comeback. Even though Atlanta had the chance to go down and win it. He just does enough, and that was without Mike Evans. Like, this isn't even a full-strength team. He's still putting together game-winning drives on it. Yeah, it's the Jets, but still, like, that's big time. So, yeah, he's got to be right up there with the best of the best.
Kyle, your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, you got to put him up there. He seems to just have a knack for putting the team on his back in these moments. Like he'll be scrambling, getting in touch with his inner Johnny football at times.
This is exactly what Johnny Manziel, what I wanted him to look like in the NFL. Because I was Money Manziel. I had the shirt. I was so on the Johnny Manziel train. I wanted this exactly. Golly, I love it.
Yeah, and I don't know. I mean, shit. What I want to know, because I turned this game off. Like I wasn't really focusing on it. It was 20-6 last time I looked, and it was one that again I completely shut off. And then next thing I know, Fox brings it back from a game break of whatever game was on, probably Rams Eagles, and then all of a sudden it's like 2019, and the Jets are going ahead, and I'm like, what's going on here? So I didn't even see what happened from like early third quarter on to like whenever hell broke loose. Apparently, like did Tyrod just get hot? Like what happened?
So essentially, it was 27 because they ended up winning. It was 26-13 because they ended up winning 29-27. So it was 26-13. They drove down, threw a touchdown. The Bucks drive, and then they get a field goal blocked and returned for a touchdown. So
think I
like
saw
it
that,
basically
yeah.
it was just a late touchdown. I don't know how the drive went prior to get like a 3-and-out or what happened, but basically the drive went down. Then obviously Tyrod executed a drive late. They were going to kick a field goal, felt like everything was fine, blocked. And then now Baker's in a situation and he's just making plays. I would say absolutely he is. And it's just because however you need him to get the yardage he needs to get, he's going to do it. Doesn't matter if it's a 4th and 10 scramble. He'll go get you 11. He's not the fastest quarterback in the league, but he'll will you 11 yards. Okay, it doesn't matter who's on the field. Mike Evans not there. Chris Godwin's not there. Abuka is actually banged up. Doesn't matter. We're going to get down the field in any way, shape, or form. So shout out to Baker because he's a real quarterback, and he's right now, especially with Burrow out, definitely he's in that 5th spot. Like Hurts and Baker are those 4th and 5th with Mahomes, Allen, and Jackson. Mahomes, Allen, Jackson.
So let me ask you, Keenan, with everyone healthy, what's the case for
Mhm.
Hurts being ahead of him?
What's the case? What you've done is kind of, to me, I value. And he's been in those big spots. Like, there's absolutely a chance. I mean, I have the Bucs as the 1 seed and going to the Super Bowl this year. So I have immense faith in Baker Mayfield and what he is doing. So, and even if you wanted to just say quarterback for quarterback, you can say, hey, I'd take Baker over Hurts, and I'm fine with it. I think that at that point, there's a conversation to be had.
Who are you taking?
But I also take
2 minutes. 2 minutes. Patriots.
I'm taking 2 minutes. Baker. I have taken
full
Baker.
game. Full game. Who are you taking?
Still taking Baker.
That's difficult to me. That's
Patriots.
Also
you can just sub in Drake May right now for Hurts or Baker. Who are you taking?
I might do Hurts because you're going to need to do more with your legs. But like I also, if you gave Baker the other, like I get both. Like I really get both. And if you said Baker, I'm not going to argue. I'd be pumped.
Who's elevating? Let me ask you this: who's elevating a lesser team, Hurts or Baker?
As of right now, you would say Baker because he's done it. With Hurts, you haven't had to see him do it yet, really. So like with Hurts, I don't know if he can or cannot because I've just never seen it. He never has had to. He's had always a good squad on the roster.
I think
no, it's fine.
I think low key you would have Baker ahead of Hurts. I think you're making your own argument right now.
MVP
right now
Baker Mayfield, by the way.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. That's
going
true.
into the season. This is what I have as of right now. It's what I have. Things change. I never said that Hurts is.
I know, but I'm saying like not much has changed in 3 weeks. Like we knew this is the Hurts we were gonna get. We knew this is the Baker we're gonna get to some degree.
I mean, yes. I mean, we kind of did, but I mean, Baker's even pushed it a little bit further. But Hurts-wise, I think Hurts is very good. I really like everything that he said. He's just a winner.
I agree. I agree with you.
What he needs to do.
Keenan, I agree with you, Keenan. But it sounds like you think Hurts is very good. It sounds like you think Baker's great. That's what I'm saying.
Also, we're arguing over like the 5-6 slot. We're not saying Hurts is bad, like by any means.
No, I know. No, so I understand this. I lean Hurts right now because I also value what you've done, and he is the Super Bowl MVP and Super Bowl champion. That's always been the thing that I've done. I've always leaned when it comes. He
got MVP last year. I guess he kind of deserved it.
He's Super Bowl MVP. Yeah, he was Super Bowl MVP. They won, obviously. So like.
I would have gave it to my man who spit on him.
Jalen Carter?
Jalen Carter, yeah. He to me was MVP.
Right. Okay. Let's run through the rest of these games real quick because there's no other big ones other than one that I kind of want to touch on. Broncos, Chargers. The Chargers are the most complete team in the AFC. Yes, no.
In the AFC, I'd still probably say no. I mean, I guess if we're trying to make the argument for complete, like they have the defense, they have the run game, they have the quarterback and the wide receivers. It is tough. I'd still probably say no. Yeah, I'll say no. I think Baltimore and Buffalo, even though they don't have like necessarily a superstar wide receiver the way that I believe Ladd McConkey is, I still think those are very complete teams. So I wouldn't say they're any more complete than those two teams specifically.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Ravens are probably the most complete team in the league. So the Chargers are right there, though. I think Chargers and Bills have very comparable rosters, honestly. Um, so the Chargers are up there. Like, they're very complementary. They're not necessarily explosive on offense, and they're not necessarily explosive on defense, but they're very high end. They're very B plus to an A minus on both sides of the ball. Whereas, and I feel the same way about Buffalo, but Baltimore, I think, has the most complete roster, probably in the league, than Philly too, obviously.
I think they have a more complete roster than Buffalo, and then they're like 1A, 1B to me right now in the AFC with the Ravens. I just think that there are no holes on this Chargers roster. I think if you're saying, hey, whose A game is the best, I think the Ravens' A game is the best because I think they have the explosion at a higher level than the Chargers do. But the Chargers can, I mean, even without Kalumak, they can still get to the passer. They're very good in the secondary. They have good linebackers, great offensive line play, even without Slater. Good running attack, not obviously as good as the Ravens, but still a good running attack. Hampton's starting to get into his own. Unfortunately, Harris is probably out for the season. And obviously, they have a very good quarterback and good skill position players. I just don't think there's really holes on this Chargers team. It's just like, how high can you reach those pinnacles the same way that the Ravens and Bills can? That's why I don't think they're a better team. But I think as a complete roster, I think you can argue. But I get the other side of the Ravens.
I think with the Bills and Chargers in particular, I think Josh Allen hides a lot of the Bills' warts, honestly, with all that he does. And I think with the Chargers, I think Harbaugh hides a lot of their warts because today was not a great game by them. This is probably the best running effort they have had all year so far.
Yeah.
From the run game. But as a team, I mean, the Broncos really should have won that game. Honestly, like they kind of took advantage at the end, but it wasn't a great game from the Chargers. They looked a lot like they did last year, which again is still, don't get me wrong, they got a good roster all around, but I think Harbaugh schemes well, and then also divisional games. You got to give props to Sean Payton too. So, but I wouldn't fault you for having them 1B or 2.
Tim, what do you have?
When Kyle was saying that Josh Allen hides a lot of those warts, I was just going to say that James Cook also hides a lot of those warts. He doesn't get the credit that he deserves. He's
easily like a top 8-ish running back in the league.
I think he's higher than that.
I haven't thought about it. He's 8-ish, but he could be close to there. I mean, Jonathan Taylor's a guy who likes to not get talked about as much, but he is obviously one of them.
I'd feel comfortable saying Cook is top 5. Without a doubt.
You know what? I'm going to put a list together for you real soon because I want to talk about it. I think that's a very interesting list to have, and you could actually have that argument.
He's definitely produced.
Oh, like, yeah, for like produced. This specific season for sure. All right. I will, because game's about to start. I know there's a couple games we didn't touch on yet, but I want to talk.
Let's keep going. We won't miss too much.
Real quick. Okay. All right. Texans, Jags. So I'm going to say we're going to have a 2-part on the same thing on both sides. Easy. 1, Timmy was right about the Texans, and 2, the Jags actually aren't a good team, even though they're 2-1.
I agree with both of those statements. Yeah, the Texans, again, the offensive line is going to be a problem in every single football game they play. The defense will keep them in it, but the offensive line is going to be a big problem. They don't have enough talent right now offensively, besides Nico and CJ Stroud, to get anything done. So until they get more, until the offensive line gets fixed, they're a 5-12 team. That's okay. People need to be okay with that because a lot of people think CJ Stroud is like Josh Allen. He doesn't do that much to a roster as Josh Allen does. So I agree. And then the Jags just win a game convincingly. God damn it! Like I'm sick of this. Like they can't do it, and it just they have a good amount of talent. They should be able to, and it just keeps coming down to games like this where it's like a 1-score game. They cannot put the lid on anything. So yeah.
Yeah, they both did not want to win this game today. This is very much like the Steelers and Pats, where it was like, no, you take the win. No, I don't want it. You take the win kind of game. So to the second question, Jags, yeah, who knows about the Jaguars? Like, we'll see more down the line, but Trevor Lawrence is, in fact, Trevor Lawrence. He is who we thought he was. He is just very inconsistent. And to was Tim right about 5-12 Texans? I'm not ready to put the coffin on them yet, close the coffin, so to speak. They need some sort of semblance of a running back, just like anybody with punch, and I think they would be okay. Because they're in all three of these games. They're competing in these games. They're right there. And Stroud, when he needs to, will make it happen. But they cannot get anything going with the run, and they're just not consistent as well. But even like they had Joe Mixon right now, which we knew this last year, but they just had him. They're probably at least 2-1. So they should have won that game last week against Tampa. And they should have won today.
Yeah, so Houston, I
Should have won
think
week
Timmy,
1 too. They should have won all three of those games.
No, they easily could have won every game this year. Houston is. And Houston, Timmy, you're probably right about Houston in the sense of like record wise. I thought I have them missing the playoffs at 9-8. I thought they're going to be able to compete a little bit more, but sometimes you just have those seasons, and this is gonna maybe one of those ones where you'll look back in the comments who are like, Timmy, you're terrible at what you're doing. You're like, where are you guys at now? You said that about the Jags last season.
2 years in a row. I'm just saying.
Yeah, AFC South guy, you got him. And then speaking of the Jags, no, they're not. They're not good. They're just not good. Like there's nothing about them when I look and I see like they have the ability to be good, but it's just like the cohesion is not there. Like if they need to go get points or they need to go get a stop, I'd be on the edge of my seat every time. Like Brandon as a fan, I think he's like, I don't even know what you're gonna do. This team's just not good. This team's just not good.
You want to talk, Keen? You want to talk about Jalen Hurts? This is a team where I think like he would elevate the Jaguars. Like I could see him doing well on this team and elevate them because Trevor Lawrence, like I can't imagine what it feels like to be a fan of him. We get to live the experience with Brandon, I guess, all this year. But
Lawrence.
he is the inconsistency on that team. Like the defense showed up today, minus that miscue that led to a touchdown with CJ. But like defense played well. Run game is there. It was there. And it's been there all year. And then it comes and goes with Trevor Lawrence. If he doesn't turn the ball over, if he's not taking sacks on third down, if he's just making basic plays like Daniel Jones, they're probably 3-0. So yeah. He's the person who does not inspire confidence for this team for me.
And we don't need to hang on this portion of it. I just want to say this: CJ Stroud. Question, like, I understand that his offensive line is not great, and I understand that he is in a situation that's not most ideal for him. But if he is the quarterback that we thought he was going to be, he should be able to elevate this team a little bit more than he has. Like the offensive outputs that he has put forth, I think that he should be able to do a little bit more with. But obviously, it just depends on where you think he is, because we are obviously having talks after year one of him being within the top 5, 6-ish where Jaden Daniels is right now.
You had him at like 6 after his rookie year, right?
Yeah. Oh, I did. And because I was like, he took a team that I didn't think was going to do much, and they got into the playoffs, won a playoff game, 23 touchdowns, 5 picks, most yards in the league on a per game average. Like he played great. And then since like week 3 last year, it's been not that. So I kind of want to see a little bit of something from him. I need to see a little bit more if he's going to be within that realm of like the 8-ups, or if he's just going to be kind of one of those middle of the pack quarterbacks. We'll see. But next we'll go Raiders Commanders, 41-24 win for the Commanders. For the Commanders side, the Commanders have a chance to win the division. For the Raiders side, Ashton Gentry may not be as good as advertised. What say you guys?
I'm going to start with the Raiders thing because I'm not sure which ESPN analyst it was. They came out and said that Ryan Clark. Yeah. He came out and said that Ashton Gentry never impressed him when he was at Boise State, and he doesn't have that it factor. Mm-hmm. It's really hard to have that it factor when you are being tackled by 2 defensive linemen 2 yards in the backfield on every single play. It is really hard. And he went 17 for 65 yards today. So, like, he is fine. This is a much bigger problem than Ashton Gentry. This is an offensive line problem. This is an offensive scheme problem. It's not looking good. They got to get the pass game going to lighten up the run game, and it's just not working. Yeah, so there's that, and then
Commanders can compete for the division's the other portion.
They can. I don't think they will. I think this is just a good game for them because the Raiders are bad, and not necessarily because they're super good. So I'll say that they can compete. I still don't think they will. I think if the Eagles are turning the corner here and they're going to start passing a little bit better throughout the season, then I don't think that they can compete really at all. So,
Okay. Kyle, your thoughts?
What was the other question? Sorry.
Ashton, Jentry, not as good
Gentry.
as advertised. And then the Commanders division.
Yes. So Genty, like, I'm gonna reserve reservations for him, like my judgment on him till like week 8, probably. I mean, again, this is still preseason for a lot of teams, so it's tough to judge. Like a lot of the rookie backs haven't looked good early on, so I'm reserving judgment on him. As far as the Commanders go, I want to see. This is why I'm kind of upset. Last week's week 2 game was a Thursday night game because that should have been like a measuring stick game for the Commanders, and I don't really know if they're any better than the Cowboys or not. I think they're very well coached. I think they're in position to be a playoff team. I don't know about winning the division, but I don't know if they're better or worse than the Cowboys. So I don't know if they're second or third in that division as of right now.
I think they're better than the Cowboys. To me, they're a firm second. I don't think that they can compete for the division, though. I think there's too much inconsistencies offensively and defensively. Obviously, you need the health of Jaden Daniels. You're not going to compete for the division with Marcus Mariota, but he's a guy who can come in, and if you need a week or two, that's great to have. But once you start getting a month and a half plus of Marcus Mariota, not that they're going to, but when you start to get to that, that's when you can't really expect them to stack wins. And on the GNT portion, I completely agree with you, Tim. Like, think Zeke. Like, obviously, when Zeke came in, he came behind one of the best offensive lines. I got Darren McFadden, 1,000 yards. DeMarco Murray got him 1,500. Like, so you go into a situation like that, and yes, you're going to have phenomenal success. But when you don't have an offensive line, and you're not a back like LaShawn McCoy, per se, who is going to make really people miss shiftly in the backfield multiple times, like it's going to be really difficult because you're going to be a guy who's going to hit the hole, run hard. You can make people miss in the open field, don't get me wrong, but you also have a lot of power to you as well. It's just a kind of a difficult situation to have him in. Like, if you were to replace him for David Montgomery right now on the Lions, I think you would see a very good Ashton Jentry kind of thing. So I can't really, I'm not. Yeah, he'll have a breakout game. I just don't think that that's in a situation where that's the case. But
I got to ask, and we can kind of bridge this with the Bears-Cowboys game. Why would you firmly put the Commanders ahead of the Cowboys?
I think that defensively, the Cowboys are a real problem. I think that the Commanders have a couple issues defensively that could be a problem for them in high-end games, but I think the Cowboys' pass defense is a real problem. So I think defensively, though the Commanders haven't been top-notch by any means, I do think that they are better defensively than the Cowboys. And then though offensively, obviously, you have more weapons, I think that with Jaden Daniels, you can match offensively. So that's where I'd lean. But yeah, we can branch it in to that. Cowboys-Bears. Caleb Williams and the Bears have found something? Yes or no?
No, this is a terrible defense. Like, everything today was blown coverages, and like even the trick play, there wasn't a guy within 10 yards of him downfield. So this is all just defense, but what can we expect? It's Matt Eberflus. So yeah, the Cowboys got some problems. It kind of goes to show, like, it is the season opener, so maybe they played a bit tougher, but the Eagles only dropped 24 points on this defense, and this defense is bad. So that could say something. But
and two, that it'd be interesting to see what happened in that game without the delay. Like, would that game have been 42-35 Dallas or Eagles, or because like before that, no one could be stopped, and then after that, no one could move the ball. So, but you're right. It's interesting to think. Kyle, your thoughts?
This Cowboys defense is definitely bad. If we're just comparing to the Commanders, though, I just don't think they've had three. I don't know. I don't think these are accurate depictions of them because week 1's week 1. Week 2 was a short week on Thursday. And then week 3 was Mariota against the Raiders. which, they're an average team. If you have more confidence, I mean, that is fair. But this Cowboys offense, I mean, it didn't look great today. The Bears, I guess this would be my thing with the Bears. When things are rolling with them, this is what they're going to look like. Cowboys lose CD,
They're Nuggets J.R. Smith.
right? They kind of are. They kind of are.
When
if it's bad, it looks
good,
real bad. When it's good,
everything.
It looks fucking amazing. That's a very good. That's a great.
They're Nuggets J.R. Smith.
That is an amazing comparison. That's exactly what they are. Because I mean, the Cowboys had opportunities even late to like cut the score. So I mean, the Cowboys offense is always going to be good enough, and that's kind of why I'm giving them maybe more respect versus the Commanders, because we've seen their offense really move the ball. But man, yeah, the Bears, I think it's going to be a week-to-week thing. Like if it starts bad, if they're down 10, it just might go bad. And if they're up 10, look out. It might just open the floodgates for them because they have a ton of talent on both sides of the ball. So
I think I won't say they found something, but I think it's good. Like I think it's good to get Caleb confidence, because if he's playing with confidence and you can actually get him some legitimate play. Oh God, Cam Scatta, boo, jeez. But if you can actually, what's up, Tim?
No, you're good. I just didn't realize the game was on. So
yeah, the game's on.
Yeah, Giants are driving right now.
Giants have been driving. Tyrone Tracy's been running all over him. Then Cam Scattaboo had a nice little spin and ran for. They're manhandling the Chiefs up front right now. But
so what you're saying is 17-16 Kansas City loss.
it might be 30-16 the way they're running on them. They're just moving. Looks like Brandon Jacobs is in the backfield again.
Couldn't bring myself to do it.
But no, so I think that it's good, because you're right, Kyle, and the J.R. Smith like if J.R. Smith starts off hot, you're like, oh, okay. And then look out, and like that could be a 9-3 game. That could be we just saw a man fly, ride him cowboy call. Like it could be like all of that. But if it's bad, it could be not knowing what the shot clock is and dribbling the ball out. Obviously that was Cleveland JR, but like it could go one of two ways with JR. So, but I don't think it's they found something. I just think it's good for the Bears to have this confidence, and good for Caleb to have this confidence. All right, we got 2 games left to discuss here real quick. And the Seahawks are a real player in the NFC, and Sam Darnold's actually good than their 44-13 rout of the Saints.
I would say that the Seattle Seahawks are definitely far and away above my preseason outlook on this team. I think they will be a playoff team. I think they'll definitely fit right in as like the 6 or the 7 seed here. Mm-hmm. This is the only team that's been able to really blow out the Saints the way that everybody was predicting the Saints to be blown out every single week. It was 35 to something with like 10 minutes left to go in the first half. I don't know what the hell happened. It was quick. It was fast. It was everything. So I do think the Seattle Seahawks are a legit team. I do think that they will compete for a playoff spot, probably make the playoffs. So,
Okay. And do you think Sam Darnold's actually good? Before Kyle, you go.
Yes, but I don't want to say that.
Okay, just checking.
This game didn't tell me much because it was essentially a rookie quarterback going to the 12th man, which has made Hall of Fame quarterbacks look bad. So I didn't take too much from that. Darnold's a base level good QB for sure, and we saw that last year. And I thought that even before the Vikings that he was like starting level. He's just always making boneheaded plays. I didn't think it was going to be this much of a blowout today. But man, yeah, the floodgates kind of opened for the Seahawks.
Yeah. So I think Sam Darnold's good, and I do think the Seahawks are a real player within the playoffs picture of the NFC. Man, I mean, the thing with the NFL right now is quarterback play. It really comes down to experience and veteran. Like, it's really difficult for quarterbacks to just come in and just make an instant impact, which is why when they do, we rate them so high. But these quarterbacks who we thought weren't good and then become good with talent after being in systems and things, like they actually, maybe they needed 5 years. And unfortunate that needed 5 years, 3 teams, and 4 coaches. But, they get with one of these coaches that are Kevin McConnell, Sean McVay, Kyle Shanahan, Matt LaFleur kind of guys, and they get to a point where, they could really compete and you can win games with them. So, like, shout out to these quarterbacks for staying with it, because obviously sometimes you can get discouraged as a person, like being good, being a top 5 pick, and then being bad, and then seeing ghosts, and then being bad, and then being on a different team, with a different system. But he made the most out of it in Minnesota, got himself a contract, and he's trying to make the most out of it in Seattle. So commend him for that, for sure. And last but not least, last game to talk about prior to the games tonight we have and tomorrow, Cardinals and 49ers. My question here, Mack Jones will start for a team next year.
Yeah, he could very well get a Justin Fields route to a starting quarterback spot. Maybe it's New Orleans. Like, maybe they don't get a top pick, and maybe they just can't take the quarterback that they want, so they go a different way, and that's just what it is. I could definitely see that being a case. Yeah, this game, wasn't a huge fan of this game. Super slow, a lot of defense, a lot of good amount of penalties in this game. Didn't love that. So, yeah,
he was throwing the ball with conviction today. Like, Mack threw it like he wanted to go where it wanted. Like, Kyle, you can tell obviously as much as you watch as much Mack Jones as I have. In New England, there were times where he just would throw it, and you were like, you didn't want to throw that, but you were throwing it because I guess you were supposed to throw it there, or like that's what the read said, but you didn't really want to throw. Like, he made a decision, he threw it with conviction, like it wanted to go there, and he was making some really good throws today.
Yeah, I mean, this was very much the case last week too against the Saints, and he looks very good. Like at the end of the game in the no huddle, like he orchestrated that drive very well.
Confident.
This is a great offense for him. That's one thing I remember about him in New England. He did very well out of the no huddle. He's very much a rhythm player. If he's got like 4 or 5 completions in a row, like he can dissect the defense. And this system in general, like he's making anticipation throws. He's looked very well these last 2 games. I don't really know if he'll start next year. I could even see him riding it out with San Francisco and just kind of like waiting it out for another Brock Purdy injury, because this offense fits him well. I mean, they supposedly, that's what they gave up the draft capital for, was not Trey Lance. Shanahan wanted Mack Jones. So, I don't know.
I mean, it makes sense. Obviously he's thriving with Brock Purdy. I mean, he could thrive with anybody because it's Kyle Shanahan, but he's thriving with Brock Purdy because you have a guy who is willing to listen, smart, can make anticipatory throws, and does everything he's asked. Like, and that's kind of what Mack Jones is able to do. Obviously, he went to Alabama and played under Nick Saban. So, like,
him and Pierce will have a real connection.
They really do. And so I was shocked. And
I'm kind of mad though, Keenan.
Yeah.
You said we had 2 more games, and this being the last one.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to talk Falcons Panthers. To me, that was one of the results.
I accidentally clicked that one off, and I forgot that I didn't say I have my question. So you're right, Falcons Panthers. That will be the last one because I actually did very much skip over that game. So I've got on the Panthers side, the Panthers are building something or just a dead clock, which is a dead clock is right twice a day. They figure it out every now and again. And the Falcons, just the Falcons, ... You fill in the blank.
The Falcons, for the first 2 weeks of the season, they looked pretty good. They were Younghoe Koo kick away from tying it and going to overtime, maybe winning that game, being 2-0. This is the Falcons, though. This is exactly the Falcons. They'll have a game just like this. So I'm going to say it is more on the Falcons just being a dog shit franchise than it is more the Carolina Panthers being good every once in a while. So mainly Falcons falconing. North Country Falcon.
Yeah, I was about to say Falcons being North Country.
Oh shit, man! Look, the Falcons, like he said, they waived Younghoe Koo and John Parker Romo. He made some kicks for them last week, and his name sounds like a serial killer name, honestly. And then he went out.
3-name serial killer.
He went out and kicked like a serial killer today because he did exactly what Younghoe Koo did. But the question to me is, like, was that because you get to scout the Falcons twice a year? Is that why the defense looks so good? Because they bottled Penix up. Penix did not look good at all. The Falcons as a whole did not look good at all. that's the case, like if this was just because they get to watch film on them and they got the drop on Penix, then okay, we can only expect this against divisional opponents. If not, that's very much a step in the right direction because their defense looked good. Bryce didn't turn the ball over. Just a competent game, and then held on to the lead and shut them out. Again, that could be just a product of the division, but if not, that's a real win. And the Falcons, and Penix in particular, that's very worrisome. Still very early in his career. He's still essentially a rookie quarterback, Penix, but I mean, 30-0 to a team that no one had confidence in going into this week. If anyone were to pick the Panthers, it would have been a low-scoring field goal type of win, not 30-0. So,
So
that was a stunning result.
They were putting something together the second half against the Cardinals last week, and they were on a drive to win the game, and then they just took that and ran with it this week against the Falcons. You're right, Kyle. Is it division, or are they putting something together? And if they are putting something together and say they have something there, the next 4 weeks would be the weeks to showcase it because they have the Patriots, the Dolphins, the Cowboys, and the Jets. So next 4. So, like, if they're putting something together, I expect them to be 2-2 over that stretch, like, to figure it out. And hopefully Bryce looks good. I want them to put it together. I'd like the Panthers to be good. But to me, I'm going to lean on it just being the Falcons doing Falcons things. They are, as Kyle Pitts goes. So,
thing is, though, the Falcons usually, it's usually you get in position, like Tim said, get in position to win the game and you miss a field goal.
Yeah.
They didn't do shit today. They looked
they
awful.
did nothing.
Awful.
They did nothing. And so, no, you're right. It's typically they will fourth quarter disintegrate. And you're like, wait, what happened? Like, how did you manage? But no, today they just didn't wake up. Penix, 50% completion percentage, 2 picks. So we'll see. I hope the Panthers put together something.
Panthers defense continues to look like that. They're going to be maybe a 7-win team or something, 6-7-win team. That was an impressive win, genuinely.
Could be second in the division. Goodness.
Maybe they just don't
second
lose.
in the division.
Maybe
right
they
now,
just don't lose from here on out. Maybe it's a 15-2 season.
Hey, I would love it. Well, that's the NFL. Do we have anything else we want to say, talk about, mention, or are we go on?
The Giants are terrible. They're so bad.
Hey, it's a tie game right now. Still 0-0.
As of right, it's 8:39 p.m. So as of this, until the back half of what we're recording, we have been kind of checking in on this game. And 4th and 3 for the Giants, they didn't get it, and then now they're letting the Chiefs kind of run down the field. Juju Smith-Schuster, 2nd and 17, he gets yardage. And Kyle, what's up?
Mahomes just missed a wide open Kelsey,
he pump faked him 3 times and then missed him.
It was a very simple throw. I'm not really sure what happened there.
Mahomes has been oddly off. For
2 years he's been oddly off. That's why he's number 3.
This year even more so off. It's been odd. I don't know. He's been oddly off. It's like his peak hit him early, and he's on the back half of his prime. But he clearly shouldn't be.
I threw out that question last year because I thought it was really a thing. I asked if his best days are behind him. They really might be.
There's no way he can be, right?
I'm not saying he's washed, but man,
no. I know what you're saying.
I'll say this though, Keenan. This is what I've really been thinking about.
That throw to Kelsey would have been put out in front, typically. Golly.
The thing that I think about with him is I really do think if you put Josh Allen on the Chiefs, they're a much better team. And if you put Mahomes on the Bills, I don't think it looks much different than what the Chiefs look like. They'd look better with James Cook, obviously. But I think if you put Josh Allen on the Chiefs, they're a Super Bowl contender. Which they were just in the Super Bowl last year, but
I don't know if they would be better.
Super Bowl.
I don't know if they would be any better.
I think they would use his legs. And
he's been. Mahomes is their leading rusher this year. He has been using. He's had
for sure, but they don't want to do that. You would have that in your offense with Allen, and I don't know. I don't think the receiving cores and the weapons are too much different. James Cook aside, James Cook's probably the best player overall between the two teams, but everywhere else, I don't know.
we'll see. Hey, Kyle floated it out there. I'm happy about it. Kyle floated it out there.
For final comments, tomorrow, I mean, we thought that was going to be a game of the weekend, and unfortunately, maybe the Rams and Eagles, not unfortunately, but maybe the Rams and Eagles stole that. But I'm looking forward to that game tomorrow. That's going to be a fantastic matchup. I hope we get points, and cannot wait to see it.
I was going to say, we should get points, and we should get high drama. I think we'll get points and high drama in that game. I'm the only one that thinks the Lions are going to win that game, but hey, it's okay. Wrong with Dan Campbell.
I can't see Jared Goff going into Baltimore winning that game, but if he does, give him the MVP now. No, not quite that.
No, MVP's heading down to Tampa.
3-0.
Could have used him.
3-0.
Just barely banked it in there.
Banks it in. Oh, Harrison Bucker from deep.
Trick shot field goal.
Yeah, he's also been another guy. Like, I understand this one went in, but he's also been another guy who has not been as sharp. So just like little things that used to be perfect. But we'll see. Warner Brothas Podcast, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, all that Warner Brothas Podcast. We're gonna go enjoy the rest of this Chiefs and Giants again. Real quick at the end of this, Timmy has it 17-16 Giants. Kyle, I believe you had it 24-20 Chiefs was your initial prediction.
Something like that.
And mine was like within the 20, I think 21-17, something like that. I had something there. I had the Chiefs, Kyle had the Chiefs, Timmy has the Giants. But Warner Brothas Podcast, we'll be seeing you guys again soon. And when you hear this portion, you'll know the end of score of the game. But we'll be seeing you guys very soon.